What is up, Need for Speed Racers? It is I, your wheelman, Alex Cornnut, and we are here with the base builds, BAA plus S and S plus, all wrapped up into one video just for you. The McLaren F1 is here to stay. It is on scene, and I may never financially recover from this video. Each car is $1.1 million, and I've got 5 of them, plus engines, plus parts. Yeah, and I went bougie and put a bunch of body parts on them too because I like them to look good. So regardless, this video cost me a lot, but I don't care. I'm here to do it for you. Guys, I started a Patreon. If you'd like to support me outside of, donations on stream or subs there or whatever, please click on the link below. I got lots of different tiers. All the tiers are the same. I don't want to put finances in front of interaction with my fans and viewers. So some people are well off. They're, established financially, and they can help out more than somebody that's maybe down on their luck or, barely scraping by like a lot of us are. So regardless of where you're at, if you can help me out, great. But if you can't, don't worry about it. There's nothing that anybody else is getting specific because they are supporting me versus someone else, because I don't want finances to be the determining factor on how we interact with one another. I'm here for you guys regardless of where you're at. So thank you if you can, and if you can't, don't worry about it. Thank you for coming and watching the videos. I appreciate that. What you can do is you can like and subscribe if you haven't. That helps me out a bunch too. I'm growing, and you guys are helping me grow. Actually, you guys are growing me. I'm just making the content, and you're making the videos blow up. So thank you very much. Let's dig into the McLaren F1. Fun fact about this car: the first time that it ever got raced as a production vehicle, the number that they used was 59. That is my personal number when I race motorcycles, when I race motocross, and any other car that I build, that's the number I put on it. So, and that is why 59 for the McLaren F1. This is one of my favorite vehicles of all time. Let's dig into it. B-Class is alright. It's not great, it's not cheese, but it's legit. Not a cheese build. It belongs in B-Class at this performance rating. Not like some of our other B-Class cars. Looking at you, Pista. Alright, the motor you're going to select in the B-Class McLaren F1 is the first motor. It is the flat 4 300 brake horsepower 2.5 liter Sport Bronze engine, all the way to the left, full Beyonce on the motor selection. For the parts, you are going to be running Iron Basic on the first 4. It is Iron Basic induction. It is Iron Basic ECU, Iron Basic fuel system, and Iron Basic exhaust. You are going to slap in a Sport Bronze Roots supercharger. It is the second option there. Now, you can do 2 different variations of this. This is up to you guys. I want you to pick for yourselves. If you want a better nitrous bottle, install the nitrous bottle. But, like we learned on the Pagani, downforce is a big factor in some cars. This is one of them. So, I'm going to come back to the nitrous or downforce options, but I want you guys to know you can run it with either the bronze bottle, run lower downforce, or run the silver pro bottle of nitrous, and you can run a little higher downforce. So 2 options there, you guys. Maybe try them both if you're running at B-Class. Honestly, $1.1 million is a lot to run it at B. You might refrain from that one. But if you buy the car, you can try it anyway. For the suspension, you are running Elite Platinum regular suspension, not the road, the regular. The road takes us out of the class. You're going to run the brakes at the stock value, which is Super Gold brakes. She stops really good. You're going to run the Elite Platinum grip tires, like I do. Clutch, Sport Bronze clutch. For the transmission, you're going to run the Sport Bronze 5-speed transmission. I'll give you some details on that in a second. You are going to be running the Elite Platinum differential. You don't need to run the Elite Platinum. You can actually get away with just the Sport Bronze, but when I'm doing my testing, I always start there. So if you want to go on the cheap, even though you already bougie, you spent $1.1 million to get into the car, the Sport Bronze will treat you right. It'll give you your full slider. You're running nitrous grip. You're running nitrous near miss in B-Class with this car because, honestly, not a lot of micro drifts are happening. You can micro drift, but you'd shave so much speed in the process. I was running near miss. But you guys do whatever you think is good. Now, going to the handling portion. Full Beyonce all the way to the left, 100%. Steering sensitivity, I was running it in the middle, run it 2 clicks high, you can do whatever. I didn't notice too much of a difference. I was experimenting with micro drift to see if maybe a little less would stop the car from shaving so much speed. And no, she bleeds speed when you micro drift. Downforce, this is where you get to pick if you want to run Pro NOS or if you want to run less downforce. If you do silver bottle of nitrous, you need to be one of the last 2 clicks. All the way over, back it off 1. That is 159. That is going to be B class. Traction control off, drift entry. Like I said, I was experimenting, guys. Run brake tap if you want to do some drifts. I think this car is really grip machine at B class, so probably run it off and just go full grip on it. That's how I was building it and racing it and having the most success. Now, if you want to run it without the nitrous bottle and you want to run less downforce, which I would encourage you guys to experiment with. So you're going to equip the Sport Bronze nitrous bottle. By doing that, we've bought ourselves 3 points in the PI, so now we're a 156. Come down, take the downforce, and you can go there, 1 click to the right of center. That is going to actually up your top speed just a little bit, and it makes the car feel a little more peppy, but you are sacrificing that bottle. So go with what you guys feel. The B class one's a little tedious in that regard, and it's probably the least performing one out of all of the cars. So honestly, you guys probably aren't even going to build this, but I want to give you all the details anyway. Now, I did mention the transmission. Long-winded on this one, but the transmission is a 5-speed. You are not going to use those gears. You are going to use the first 3 gears, and that's it. First, second, and third. Launch the car in first. Maybe second if you're using the silver bottle. The reason this car has a top speed of 154 is because the horsepower is limiting its ability to get up to go faster. This car is currently geared with that 5-speed to do well over 200 miles an hour. It's got very long gears, so you're only using the first 3. Keep that in mind, you guys. So if you're learning manual, this is a great car to learn manual in because you're not shifting that much. But B class, like I say, it's kind of lackluster. But that is going to give you the B class McLaren F1, the first of the base builds. It has got a 297 horsepower, 311 on the torque. We've got a lot of the B cars that are in the 600s, 800 horsepower range, some of the cheesy ones. So this gets walked on pretty easy. But if we made a race class that was no cheese, where it had to be legit in the class, this fits. And it's pretty good. It's grippy. Let's move on to A. Start spicing things up. All right, we're here at A class. The car is improving with every class, getting more competitive every time we add more parts to it. Let's dig in. The engine that you are running at A is still the far left Sport Bronze motor, 300 brake horsepower, 2.5 liter flat 4. For the parts, you are running Sport Bronze induction, Iron Basic ECU, Iron Basic fuel system, Iron Basic exhaust, Gold Super Roots supercharger, Sport Bronze nitrous, Elite Platinum road suspension, Super Gold brakes, Elite Platinum grip tires, Sport Bronze clutch. Same transmission is the Sport Bronze 5-speed. As we add more power, the car gets a little faster. And you can run the Sport Bronze differential. Auxiliaries, I'm running nitrous grip, I'm running nitrous drift. Micro drift today does alright. For the handling portion of this, it is a 95% grip build. It was the only way to cram these parts into it and keep it in the A class. So run it all the way to the left and then back 1. 95% grip. Steering sensitivity, I run 2 clicks high, as I do. Downforce, run it all the way high. It's the only place it's going to fit in the class. Anything to the left of that is 210 or above. This is a very finicky vehicle. It's like the Pagani. High downforce, low downforce makes huge swings in the PI value. With this specifically at A class, we found that the higher downforce allowed us to put enough horsepower in that it was better there than running a lower horsepower build with lower downforce to match. So you guys might try a couple different variations of that, but for myself at A, we found that this was the most optimal to get that A209 optical. I don't know what I'm talking about. Traction control off, drift entry, brake tap. That's going to give you the A-Class McLaren F1 209. 174 top speed. The does about 165. 358 for your horsepower, 370 for your torque. That supercharger helps it pull through the gears. You're only going to be using first through fourth, if you click into fourth. Third's pretty long. Let's move on to A+. Now it's getting spicy. A+. This car is pretty good at A+. Very competitive. Fun fact, the way that the lettering centers on the license plate is really weird on this car. So you'll see Cornnut's kind of off to the left a little bit. Kind of a weird quirk of the way this car is set up in the game. I don't know. It's odd. But very, very good looking vehicle. Sitting in the middle, just 2 rear view mirrors. It's got all the pieces. It's so cool. A+, it's actually pretty competitive, you guys. It's not a record breaker, but it holds its own, no problem. It's a very good handling, very good momentum car. The engine that you are running in the A+ build is the third engine over. So you go all the way to the left, count 3, 1, 2, 3. It is the 425 brake horsepower, 3.0 inline 6. For the parts, you are running Sport Bronze induction. You are running Sport Bronze ECU. Sport Bronze fuel system. Silver Pro exhaust. Silver Pro Roots supercharger. Sport Bronze nitrous bottle. Elite Platinum road suspension. Super Gold brakes. Elite Platinum grip tires. Sport Bronze clutch. Sport Bronze 5-speed transmission. And the differential, you guys, you can run the Sport Bronze diff. It'll still get you 100% grip. When I was testing this car, I forgot to put my auxiliaries in. Still does just fine. So run any auxiliaries you want, but you guys know me. Nitrous drift, nitrous grip. Get those micro drifts. When you're building so many of these cars, I think when I got to this one, I had to go sell other cars, and so I forgot to put those auxiliaries in. But regardless, it's actually pretty good at A+. I think you guys will like the build. It's pretty solid. It says 190. It'll get there. You need one of the speed tracks to get there, though. And in A+, we've got some really dominant cars. Testarossa, 190E. So this will slot behind those on the speed races, but it'll walk pretty much everything else. I really like the way this car handles. It just handles good. For the handling, 100% to the left, full Beyonce, all the grip. Steering sensitivity, I'm 2 clicks high. That's where I run it. Downforce, go all the way high, back it off 1. It's going to give you 269. Anything back before that is going to ramp up that PI number and put you in S-Class. You can do there, but that's 268. So give yourself the point, put it there, be happy. Traction control off, drift entry, you brake tap. That's where it's at, you guys. Overall, the car is pretty good at A+. I would encourage you, if you buy one of these vehicles, to try it here and then go S, which is really good at S, and then go S+, which is really good at S+. That is going to give you the McLaren F1 A+, 190 top speed, 452 on the horsepower, 469 on the torque. Now let's go to where this car is really dominant and slot into S. Here we are at S. This was a build that I've already done on the channel. It is the same. It is a very good car at S, you guys. I would say it's third out of the S cars. Like, you got the F40, you got the 71 Skyline, and you got that McLaren F1, baby. Don't get me wrong, there's other cars that are very competitive in the S class, but this is like a handling dream. It's got good acceleration. It's got a decent top speed. I mean, it just kind of checks all the boxes. And it looks really good. That Golf livery, mwah. Wide body kit, crazy. Just, let's go. I love this car at S. Very, very special. I think you guys will like it too. If you're going to start with the F1, you've not built it yet, start at S or A+. One of those two. But I would recommend starting with S because you'll learn to love it. Plus, it sounds really good. The exhaust note is fire. For the engine, we are back all the way left. It is the first motor. It is the 2.5 liter flat 4, 300 brake horsepower when we start. We move up a lot from there. For the parts, you are running Pro Silver induction. You are running Elite Platinum ECU. You are running Elite Platinum fuel system. You are running Super Gold exhaust. And you are going to run Elite Platinum single turbo charger. We've run it a couple of different ways at the top end. We've done it with the roots. We've done it with the screw. I'll be honest, the turbo's where you want to be. This car struggles the most because it's very long geared at the top end of the gear in fifth specifically. So that turbo gives it the most boost, the most opportunity to accelerate, and it allows it to get that 201. It makes your rapid transit times a little better. You get on fish hook, you're not going to get walked nearly as bad as some other cars. Turbo is where it's at. It's the sweet spot. It's where I drive it, and I do drive this car semi-frequently. I wouldn't say like it's my go-to. My go-to is that 71 Skyline. I've got a pretty good time on fish hook myself, and a pretty good time on rapid transit in that 71 Skyline. That's why I love it. It's my baby. But this is personally my second favorite. It's a good car. You are going to be running Sport Bronze Nitrous. You're going to be running Elite Platinum road suspension. You're going to be running Super Gold brakes. Elite Platinum grip tires. Hook it up, grip it up, rip it up. Let's go. Sport Bronze clutch. Sport Bronze 5-speed transmission. Elite Platinum diff, you don't need it. You can go with the bronze diff, you guys. But you know me, I'm always defaulting to the higher parts. Nitrous drift, nitrous grip. This car does micro drift, and it's great on boost. For the handling, full Beyonce, to the left, all the way to the left. 100%. Steering sensitivity, 2 clicks high. That's where I run it. Guys, find your sweet spot. Be consistent. If you're learning the micro drift, maybe back it down. I don't say that just for fluff. I'm being real with you. I think that'll help a lot of people if you're struggling with the micro drift scene. Downforce, go all the way high. Back it off 1. This is a car that reacts very well to downforce. The lower downforce, the more nimble the car feels. This build, we can only go there. We can't go anywhere else. That takes it out of the class. So go all the way high, back it down 1. That is S329. That's the spot where I would recommend. The car's very grippy. It doesn't need any downforce. Traction control off, drift entry, brake tap. It's going to give you the S-Class McLaren F1. It's a good one. 201 top speed. It'll do about 203 with the turbo. A little redline tech, maybe 205. Depends how good you are on the trigger. 729 for the horsepower, 592 for the torque. Let's move on to S+. Wrapping it up, S+, last car of the build. The S+ car is really good. That being said, it bleeds speed in the corners. Your cruising speed is going to be around 220, 225 in this build. With boost, it'll get into the 230s. It doesn't carry and hold speed like the Infinity, but God, does this handle a lot better. A lot better. I mean, this is right up there with the Ferrari F6K Evo, but it doesn't accelerate quite as hard, so the Ferrari kind of slots in a little better. But I really like the McLaren F1 at S+. I've run it plenty of times in pub lobbies, won plenty of races. You get matched up with somebody in a Regera, it's a better car, so they've got the advantage. But at the end of the day, this is a pleasure to drive. It is very fast. It is very good at S+. So if you buy one of these, build it at A+, build it at S, try it at S+. Mind you, your financial situation, if you can afford a few of these, do it. But if you've only got one, try it at a few classes, see where you like it the most. That's what I would encourage you guys with these base builds. If you really only have enough money for one car, just kind of find what spot do you need something good and then put the car there for you. Maybe not put it where the car is the strongest, but put it where you need to fill a gap, because overall the car is going to handle pretty well, unless you're in B or A. A little rough down there. But let's dig in. So for the engine on the S+ model, you're going all the way to the right. V10, 631 brake horsepower, 5.2 liter. The Super Pro Gold. Amazing. Last motor. We very rarely go all the way to the right when we're building cars, you guys. For the parts, Elite Platinum, all of it. Elite Platinum induction, Elite Platinum ECU, Elite Platinum fuel system, Elite Platinum exhaust, Elite Platinum screw supercharger, Like I said, the car bleeds speed in the corners. The screw is going to allow you to have the most torque, the most horsepower all the time. Helps you get out of the corners as well. I did try it with the single turbo. Overall, it gives a little more horsepower, but you're losing the torque, and it changes where the torque curve is at. I'm telling you guys, the screw is where it's at. Go with the screw. Elite Platinum nitrous bottle, Elite Platinum road suspension, Elite Platinum brakes, Elite Platinum grip tires, Elite Platinum clutch, because why not? The Pro Silver 6-speed transmission. The gear ratios changed a little bit going from the 5 to the 6. It doesn't really change the top speed, but taking and adding that extra gear to kind of fill the gaps and makes the gears a little shorter made the car a lot more nimble, made it better in some of the handling, tight corner tracks, just because you have a better gear selection to be in. And with that crazy clutch, it shifts like a dream. And then because we super bougie, we at the top, I'm running the Elite Platinum differential. You guys can get away with the Sport Bronze, but if we're building it to S+, why not get the best of everything and put all the parts on it? And then nitrous grip, nitrous near miss. I don't find myself micro drifting so much in S+, but I find myself catching lots and lots of near misses. So maybe do what you guys do there. If you run behind people, run nitrous draft, bro. Like, put the car setup the way you drive. If you're out leading and you're in front, there's no one to draft, so that auxiliary doesn't help you. But near miss would. If you are good at dodging traffic, run near miss. If you're not that good at dodging traffic, don't encourage yourself to do it. Don't run near miss. Get that off of there. So however you drive, set these auxiliaries up to give you the most benefit, so that way you can go the fastest. Bring those lap times down and bring that win ratio up. Handling, all the way to the left, full grip. Steering sensitivity, 2 clicks right, that's me. Like I told you guys before, which we learned earlier, downforce is a big deal in this car. Lots of PI swing. Run the downforce all the way low. The car handles really good. You don't need to have a lot of downforce. Running it all the way low really makes this thing feel very nimble, and that's what you want. Traction control is off. Drift entry is brake tap. It's going to give you the S+ McLaren F1, rounding out our base builds. 233 top speed, it'll do it. 878 on your horsepower, 607 on your torque. Car's really good at S+, you guys. It's one of my favorites to drive. It's a pretty car. It sounds good. It looks good. It's sweet. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for interacting with the channel, helping me out. Like I say, like and subscribe if you haven't, or just click the like button. If you've already clicked it once, don't click it again because it unlikes it. Don't unlike the video. Just like the video. Have a great rest of your day.